Yo, what is up? Hey everyone, welcome to the Discovering Disney podcast.
I'm Morgan and I love Disney.
I'm Leo, I was going to say I'm Morgan, and I didn't grow up with Disney.
Yes, you're Morgan, I'm Leo.
Hello, Morgan.
Hello, Leo. We're going through all the Disney movies to educate Leo on the magical world of Disney.
I'll be talking about my observations I had while watching the movies.
And I'll hit him with facts and other information.
You'll fit me. Yeah, that's right. Fit me all right.
Listen, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm an old lady.
Anyways, do you want to start us off, babe?
Sure, babe. Fantasia was created with the intention to bring classical music to the masses. In 1941, after 7 months spent touring theaters, it officially opened in the United States. With a budget of $2.2 million, which is $41 million in today's money, it was an extreme monetary failure upon opening, only making back just over half.
Yikes.
Yikes. Because of the new technology needed to show the movie, as it was the first movie to use stereophonic sound, very few theaters were willing to show it. And the outbreak of World War II prevented it from being released in Europe. It gained traction in later years after a 1969 re-release when it became a favorite of the psychedelic crowd. A sequel, Fantasia 2000, was released in 1999. Contained 7 new sequences but retained the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Many Disney legends worked on this, including art director Yale Gracie, animator ex Atencio, background artist John Hench, and my man, background artist Claude Cope. I told you before we started that I thought you'd love it because of your absolute love of classical music, but what did you think?
Well, starting from the absolute beginning. So, as you can see, obviously, audience, you can't see, you're just listening to my beautiful voice. Beautiful.
Mwah.
Peter Piper picked that. Anyways, yeah, this whole fucking movie is just absolutely great. And the greatest thing about this movie is just about how it starts with a motherfucking flute solo. It starts off with a motherfucking flute solo, and I was just, okay, maybe you can answer this question, because I had a question immediately straight off the bat, but then I even reiterated the question later on in the notes.
Mm-hmm.
So the music was made after the animation, or it was the other way around?
These are all classical music pieces.
Okay.
Yes.
So the music came first, and they just performed it.
Yes.
And the animation was just made on top of it.
Yes.
Pretty much. Okay.
It was made to bring classical music to the masses. Did you notice that the movie just kind of started?
Yeah.
There was no title screen or credits.
Nah. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I remember it, because at the end of the movie, we were just like, oh shit, that's it.
So credits were given out in booklets when it was touring roadshow version. And then it didn't have any title screen or credits until the 50th anniversary re-release.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
True shit, dude. That's crazy.
It was, originally when they first started working on it, it was going to be 40.
Oh.
Yes.
How so?
So 3D at the time was only in black and white, which I don't know how good the movie would have been if it was only in black and white. Because the colors, animators were given freedom to use whatever colors they wanted.
Okay.
Which is pretty crazy. But they were gonna have scents in the theater like jasmine, incense, and gunpowder.
Ooh.
Yes.
Gunpowder for...
I can't remember which scene. I didn't complete it in my notes.
I'm trying to think, because, okay, so for those of you who have never seen Fantasia, it's literally just a whole bunch of classical pieces, like Bach, which I will come back to my boy Bach, because I made a note about him. That's the only person I can think of right now, but I'm pretty sure you have the classical set, pieces or whatever, the fucking musicians that made them. But from my perspective, or from what I can tell you, what Fantasia is about is just a whole bunch of classical pieces and animation just put over it. But some animations have a story to tell, some don't. They're just pretty, and it's just a big fun time. Big fun time.
That's gonna sound great in post.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Steven Spielberg's favorite movie. Yes.
Our boy.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Boy.
Yes. It was the original plan was for it to be re-released every single year with new segments. But that was just a little too much, so that never really happened. Also, I'm going through like all the basic ones I have before we go into the different sections because I have it all separated out by sections.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Thanks. Yeah. I actually leaned away from the microphone, unlike you.
Honestly?
Smacking and eating your pizza into the microphone.
I came here to have a good time. And I'm feeling called out right now. I'm feeling pretty attacked.
So, the movie was completed 4 hours before the premiere.
This pepperoni almost got fucking launched in my goddamn trachea.
Then maybe you shouldn't be eating while you talk.
Well, maybe you should fucking angrily wave fists in the air.
So, and then there is a Marvel sorceress character called Fantasia, or Phantasma. I know, right? Before Disney even owned Marvel.
They were already, like, planting the seed.
And then the last thing I have to say is that there was a game.
Of Thrones? Ba, 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 ba.
This is my life. Anyway, there was a game based on Fantasia, released in 1991 on the Sega Genesis, and it was absolutely horrible and is considered to be one of the worst.
I don't know.
Like, ever.
Have you seen E.T.? Have you seen E.T.?
Basic.
Why his neck so long?
You're so basic.
What
That's
the fuck
the
do you
basic
mean?
bad game that everyone goes to.
Well, because it's fucking bad.
Everyone's heard of it, but there are worse games that nobody's heard of.
It's fucking bad.
Yes, it is bad. I'm not arguing on that point. Basic. Anyway.
Yeah, basic.
Let's go into your notes.
Anyways.
Thanks, Eleanor Shellstrop.
There's real life segments, you know, in between the animations of the guy talking. By the way, do you know who the guy was?
He...
Just like the conductor?
Yeah.
Fucking not important. Anyways.
I think he was like a musical historian or something like that.
His first name, I think, was Leopold. Because I put down right here, go Leopold. So I'm assuming that the guy's name has to be, or somebody has to be named Leopold in order for me to put it like, oh shit, fucking, not biased at all.
Listen, alright, so if it sounds like we don't know what we're talking about, this was a 2-hour-long movie, okay?
And okay. You know, this isn't, usually we record with the movie same day. You know, we watch the movie, then we prepare, and then we record the episode. That's how it usually goes.
But we didn't realize this movie was 2 hours long.
Yeah, so we kind of watched it a little late, and it was just a lot.
And we kind of fell asleep immediately after the movie. So here we are.
Yeah, so hey.
Hey.
Next day.
Just going off our notes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I still remember the movie, obviously.
I still remember it.
You know.
I really liked the way the movie started, how it kind of went from live action into abstract animation into, like, actual animation.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of eased you into the concept.
Yeah, definitely. There was the first piece that played, and it wasn't, well, it was animation at some points, but at other points it was just really cool lighting over a big, like, white backdrop or something.
The description on Wikipedia of Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach. Your boy. Live action shots of the orchestra illuminated in blue and gold, backed by superimposed shadows, fade into abstract patterns.
Okay.
Yep.
That's really all it says.
There's another line, but it's basically describing the abstract patterns. So.
You know, a line here.
Yeah, animated lines, shapes, and cloud formations reflect the sound and rhythms of the music.
That's oddly descriptive, if I'm being honest. But, yeah, it looks really nice. Okay, so now we're getting into the first animation here, because I put...
The first, like, real animation.
I think so, because I put... Yeah, because this is, you know, with the fairy, like, you know, a little bit. So the conductor says sometimes the animation says a story, other times it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question for this animation, because I just put, like, you know, holy shit, this is really nice. And then, like I said, Sebastian Bach can have this Sebastian Cock. You know, it was just really pretty. But at the same time, I didn't really know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I put, is this story mode or free roam?
Literally, the only note I have for this section is gay. So.
Oh.
I don't know if that answers your question or not.
I'm assuming free roam.
Yeah.
However, there are multiple fairies in here that I would smash.
That's pretty gay.
It's a literal. There's a pattern here throughout these movies.
Every time a character pops on screen, you just go smash or pass in your head. Like Geppetto, smash or pass.
Bro, Geppetto literally sleeps with the motherfucking thing on him. So if I piss him off, that's a little oof there. So I would pass.
Grumpy.
I don't know. He's kind of thick.
He's thick.
He's pretty
he
thick.
Got cake.
But I would have to pass. Yeah, another fairy would smash. It's just like all the fairies that are every Disney movie ever, I would smash.
Yeah.
The Nutcracker, you know, this is when the Nutcracker came out. Mm-hmm. Two fairies, double smash. Unexpected dancing mushrooms.
Yes.
Because I remember like the camera faded like to black and the black like faded down somehow. And then mushrooms were there and I was like, oh shit, bro, mushrooms. And then they like just stood up and started dancing and I was, oh.
Remember when I said this got popular because it was popular with the psychedelic crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely see. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. I don't do drugs. I wouldn't condone doing drugs. But if you do, this movie would be a fucking trip, dude. Christ, I can't imagine being fucking high and watching this movie. I would flip my shit, dude. I also found it funny how you can differentiate the male from the female from just the flowers. Mm-hmm. Because somehow, some way, the flower stem had a more masculine figure than the female flower stem. Don't ask me how.
Body language.
I actually think it was the petals.
Never underestimate the importance of body language. You'll learn that when we get to 1989.
Bro, we're like 1940, so...
1941, yeah.
Oh, 1941. Oh.
They started slow with the movies because it was a long process.
Yeah.
So there's a long gap between the first movies, and then it really just starts to pick up and pick up.
No, yeah, I would assume because you know the more Disney gets popular, the kind of just pump shit out sort of thing. You know, with these movies, they're more artistic. Yeah, they're telling a story, but they're also trying to make it look really pretty. You know,
it was more like the more movie they had, the more teams they could have going at one time because they had teams working on each movie. So, like, this team would be working on Bambi while this team would be working on Fantasia.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pinocchio didn't make that much in the box office, and Fantasia didn't make that much in the box office. So, but then as they pick up steam, the movies get closer and closer and closer together. And live action is cheaper to make, so that's why they started making a lot of live action.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We're almost there.
Yeah. Well, we have, like, a couple more movies to go before... My favorite that's coming up. I haven't watched it, but I just know it's my favorite.
You're so excited for it.
I'm so fucking excited for it, and we're not going to say it here on the podcast, but oof. If you know, you just know, dude. If you don't, you're going to fucking find out how much of a trip this is. Ooh, I need to calm down before I get too excited. Anyways, I put, don't know if this is story mode. If so, I'm lost. So obviously it's not story mode if you just put gay.
That's literally the only note I have.
It's pretty free roam and snowflakes.
Snowflakes.
You know, the fairies kind of twirled down into some snowflakes, and I could tell that was the Blu-ray version because the snowflakes look a little too smooth compared to the fairies. Let me see here. And Mickey. So now we get into the Sorcerer or whatever their apprentice.
Sorcerer's Apprentice. I feel like this is really where the movie started to pick up steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this quick fun fact: this segment inspired the 2010 movie Sorcerer's Apprentice, starring Nick Cage.
For some reason, I was about to fucking. Man, why can't I think of the dude from Lord of the Rings? Wow, fucking Frodo.
Elijah Wood?
Yeah, I don't know why I was about to say Elijah Wood, but I just really wanted Elijah Wood for some reason. Anyways,
Okay.
yeah. What was it? For some reason, I put bat, like arrow, butterfly. I think there's a sequence in there where a bat turned into a butterfly or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it just tripped me out, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. So the one thing that I really got from this whole thing is just you wave your fingers at something and it'll become alive
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how magic works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This was when Mickey's design started to get a little more modern. Like he got pupils and gloves.
yes, I did see the gloves just because I knew that I guess like the thing I've heard was gloves were easier to animate than fingers. That's why they use gloves. Am I right? Or
That's what I've heard too. But this is when he got gloves and his pupils and a shorter nose. Also, the cool ass wizard. He was inspired by Walt Disney. Like his facial expressions were inspired by Walt Disney. His name is Yen Sid, which is Disney backwards.
I do that.
The last cool thing I have to say about this section is that Mickey Mouse was voiced by Walt Disney.
What?
Yes.
Now I want to go back and hear that. I didn't know that. So yeah, Mickey was just so fucking proud of himself when he just waved his little fingers at the broomstick, and the broom was like, "What up, bro?" And,
Mickey's so cute.
he was just so proud of himself, and I was proud of him. Up until his fucking soul just yeeted out of his fucking body when he went to sleep.
Whenever we go to Disneyland, we have to see Fantasmic.
Okay. Well, when we go to Disneyland, just a little teaser for the podcast.
Yeah.
Eventually we are gonna end up going to Disneyland and doing a Disneyland sort of special.
Which I have spent well over 100 days in Disneyland, and Leo's been once in his lifetime.
I've been once when I was like 5.
So he doesn't remember anything.
I don't remember a thing.
But we're going to go, and I know way too much about Disneyland. Like, you think I know a lot about Disney movies? Ha! Disneyland is my shit.
Yeah, dude. I went when I was like 5, so I don't remember shit.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Or
we can watch Fantasia on YouTube. It's not the same.
You mean Fantasmic? Or Fantasmic.
Shut up.
Orgasmic. Anyways. Yeah, so the whole thing was a dream. The whole, like, wave thing, whatever, was a dream. I guess the most iconic thing that you can think of when you think of Fantasia, you think of Mickey in the hat with the waves.
Yeah.
And that was, like, just the littlest part in the whole movie.
Well, so, like, one of my favorite memories that has to do with this segment is actually, it was at Disney Hollywood Studios. And the ride doesn't exist anymore. It was called the Great Movie Ride. It was my favorite ride. And there was this section where your car went through the part from Fantasmic when he's in the hat and the robe and he's like doing all this magic, and it was just really good. It was a really nice experience. I really loved that ride, and I wish I'd never died.
All right. Anyways.
I'm very passionate about that ride.
Dude, I can tell. Yeah, so the whole thing was just a dream. It was only a dream. But yeah, Mickey sure is fucked, dude. Because he wakes up because he throws like the broom away or whatever. He tries to break it, and like the little pieces of the broom just turn into more brooms. So Mickey sure is fucked because he kind of just, the brooms just keep bringing in the water, and the water just flooded the place. And my only question about this whole animation sequence is, how did the wizard not fucking know? His house is literally flooded, and he's just chilling in his room until like Mickey makes like a loud noise, and he's like, "Yeah, it was good." And he was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, but still, the wizard just
Sid.
dumb bitch juice, drinking all that,
sipping on it.
So after that animation, the guy, I'm just gonna refer to him as Leopold because I would like to think that his name is Leopold. So Leopold says that evolution music, that's up next, and he even calls the T-Rex the gangster of the dinosaur world. So I put in my notes, T-Rex equals gangster, confirmed.
Yeah, one thing that was pointed out to me was that the dinosaurs were not anthropomorphic. Did you notice that? Anthropomorphic, like human characteristics.
Oh.
These are the first animals we've seen in a Disney movie that aren't anthropomorphic, and I think it might be the last, honestly. Until we get to, like, nature documentaries, but that doesn't really count in my book. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. But now that you mention it, yeah.
They were just dino dudes.
Yeah, dude, they were just fucking dino dudes. And I wrote down probably what I think should be the tagline for this movie. The most interesting, boring movie you'll ever see. That's literally what I put down.
You said that to me while we were watching it, and I have to agree.
Yeah, dude, because, I mean, it does get a little boring sometimes just because it's just classical music. You know, classical music can get a little boring. But it's very interesting to see all the animations and what people can come up with that kind of correlate to the music, you know?
So I don't remember what this was in reference to. So I write my notes before we even watch the movie, because I like to watch the movie with him and not be distracted by taking notes.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what this was in reference to, so I'm just going to say it totally out of context, because I don't have any context. Unused production cells exist with centaur titties.
What the fuck did you just say to me right now? What the fuck did you just say to me right now?
I spelled it Tiddies, too.
What the fuck? Wow, you should see my face right now. What the fuck? Alright.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures? Because I kind of want to see.
Maybe we could find some later, but I don't have any right here, right now.
I don't know about you, but I kind of want to see centaur titties now.
Those centaurs were hot.
Nah. I don't know, dude.
Did they pass the
Smasher Pass? I don't know. I can't. Oh, well, I wrote something about the fucking mermaids, so. But we'll get to there. I don't remember this part, but I like how each instrument had its own part. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it's in reference to something. Yeah, I guess. And man, what kind of fucking ugly ass dinosaurs are these, dude? Like, all of them just look fucking hideous. Like, they're not good looking.
They're quote unquote realistic. I mean, we don't really know what they look like, but
they're fucking gross. And the T-Rex was just a fucking monster because he literally has like just these red piercing eyes that just
he was kind of funny too, though. Like, funny looking.
Funny how?
Looking.
Like a clown? Like I amuse you?
Funny haha or funny no?
Have you seen that movie? Goodfellas?
No.
You haven't seen Goodfellas?
Let's keep going.
Fucking uncultured. Anyways, let me just move the mic away for a second because I wrote this down in all capitals. So I feel.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
I feel the need.
Oh wait, I know exactly what you're about to say.
I know the need for some speed. Dino fight!
Dino fight. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. A dino fight with a T-Rex and a Stegosaurus.
Yes. The dinosaur scenes.
Yes.
Inspired this legendary Disneyland thing called the Primeval World Diorama.
A diorama. Okay.
Yes. So, for the 1964 World's Fair, Disney made like a whole bunch of things for it, and one of them was called Ford's Magic Skyway.
I forgot there was a World's Fair, man. Man, that shit... The world's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe there was a World's Fair. Anyways.
He made this thing called Ford's Magic Skyway where people got into Ford cars and like went through all these things, and there was a diorama, the Primeval World Diorama. And it was basically the scene from Fantasia.
You said diorama twice. Was that? You said the diorama of the dino thing diorama. Fucking.
It's 10:30 at night now, so.
Okay, I just didn't know if that's what it was called because if that is what it was called.
It's called the Primeval World Diorama.
Okay, yeah, you said the diorama of the Primeval World Diorama because if that is what it legitimately was called, I would have flipped my shit.
Is called. After the 1964 World's Fair, it was moved to Disneyland. So when you ride the train around Disneyland, you're just kind of riding it, and then all of a sudden you go back in time, My mom and I always refer to it as visiting the dinosaurs, but literally you're riding the train, you go through a tunnel, and suddenly you're looking at this diorama of dinosaurs. And then you come out and you get off the train, and it's just like,
oh,
that
shit,
was a thing.
dude.
That happened.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I really want to see that now. It's from the original?
It
is the original.
Yes.
What?
It's wild.
I want to fucking see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's always either like we say, let's go visit the dinosaurs, or it's like, and suddenly, dinosaurs.
And you're like, oh shit.
And it's like, oh yes.
There
we go again.
So, spoiler alert. If you don't know who wins the dino fight, spoilers. If you don't want to hear it, click away now. The T-Rex wins. Because obviously, the T-Rex wins fucking everything. So
I still have a few more on this section before you get to the next one.
Okay. I only really have one more.
Mm-hmm.
So, this whole evolution thing with the music and stuff like that, they went through, evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much from the beginning to the end of the dinosaurs. So I guess I was talking to you about this during the movie of what the theory was.
Yes.
Of how the dinosaurs went extinct. And I guess the modern theory now is big rocks hit
meteors, yeah.
Yeah, big rocks hit little Earth. And, dinosaurs just went kaput. But I guess the 1940 theory was that the dinos died of a dust bowl. Like the whole world just turned to dust, I guess.
Well, the American Dust Bowl in the Midwest was 1930 to 39, so it was kind of fresh in people's mind. And you always talk about the meteor, but I always heard it as a volcano.
Yeah, see, so you were saying how, like, everyone has heard it differently. And I know about the Dust Bowl because,
because it is just a theory, because I don't think, unless science gets really advanced, we're never going to know exactly how.
But in the end, it's just a theory. A game theory.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
It was going to go all the way on to the evolution of humans, but creationists intervened. And threatened to start stuff.
Those goddamn fucking...
Yeah. Anyway, then we get to the intermission.
Yeah, I was like, wow, is it really a 15-minute intermission? And then they just came right back, and I was like, you got me.
Thank you, Pirate Bay.
You sure got me. Excuse me, we bought this movie.
Oh, yes, we did. That's right.
Legally.
We bought this legally on Amazon.
And Amazon for like $17.99.
Yes, legal.
Legal. Like a me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Yeah, so it goes on to the next section after this. Do you have anything else for
Nope. Let's
Dino
go
Bowl?
On to the next section.
This
is the one I've been looking forward to.
It's the motherfucking centaurs, boy. Yeah. Cute little centaurs and unicorns, just kind of fucking flying away and shit. Majestic ass Pegasus, Pegasi, because I think there were two.
Yeah.
Just fucking flying everywhere. The Pegasus kind of looks like a swan when they're swimming in the little lake. They were just flying around and shit. I guess that was intentional. Animals, fucking
beautiful.
Bullshit. Mermaids, smash them all. Smash them all. Not even just one. All of them.
I think this is where the centaur titty comment was supposed to go.
Maybe.
Probably.
Either way.
That doesn't really fit in with dinosaurs, but...
Yeah, it definitely doesn't fit in with the dinosaurs. Centaurettes and Still Smash. I actually just put like a little side note that just said Still Smash. I put fucking a horse, LOL. I think that's an inside joke here. And the centaurs look kind of derpy.
Yeah.
And all of them, they don't look super right. Just a little like they look at you and you're like, hey daddy, and you're just like, sort of thing. Yeah, so I guess this whole thing was like in Greek gods or something like that, because Zeus and Vulcan were in it.
And don't forget Bacchus.
Yes, and Bacchus. We could never forget our boy Bacchus. But why Vulcan just have a loincloth though? Like he's buff as fuck, and he just has that little loincloth just covering his little giblets.
Well, he's buff as fuck, so he just wants to show off every tiny little muscle in his body.
Well, John, dude, when you're that fucking ripped and Nice. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Apollo just shows up out of nowhere. He's like, "Saw dudes." He just, kind of waving around. The centaurs, the real horses in the back, if you know what I'm saying. And did I write anything else for this? No,
Okay.
I didn't. That's all I put, actually. Because the next note is the ostriches.
Yeah.
So,
So this segment has a long controversial history.
okay.
Do you remember when you pointed out reused animation?
No.
You did. You pointed out, you were like, oh, let them just reuse animation.
I don't remember, but okay.
It's because they had to chop and kind of omit some things. So I have a video queued up right here.
Okay.
And it compares the DVD version to the original version, and I'm going to show it to you, and then I want you to hold any comments until we start the recording back up, okay?
Okay. You want to go ahead and tell... is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Okay. Guys, if you want to go ahead and look up this video so you can watch it with us, go ahead and press the pause button as soon as Morgan says the title of the video.
The video is Fantasia Sunflower Comparison.
Alrighty, so go ahead and press pause, and I will also press pause on this recording so that way we can kind of just start back up.
BRB.
Alright, we are back.
So basically, a quick description of the video I just showed him is that there was a lot of the movie, well, a lot of that segment that was censored due to a racial stereotype. Her name was Sunflower, and she was a black caricature, and she was doing stereotypical slave things, and it was very, very wrong. What are your thoughts, Fabe?
Wow, that's fucking bad. Oh, it's so fucking bad. God, I was sitting down. I was sitting down in my fucking chair, and I'm standing up now just because it's so fucking bad.
It was so bad.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Christ, we were racist. Or we
Welcome
are racist.
to America.
We still are racist.
Welcome to America.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to get political on this podcast. Fuck. God damn. Man, that was just so bad. God, why would we ever think that was a good idea?
Because white people suck.
God damn it, Walt Disney.
I also have one more thing I wanted to say about this section.
Okay.
Was that Stravinsky was the only composer whose pieces were used that was still alive.
Okay.
And he hated what Disney did with it because they cut out some parts and they rearranged it and stuff like that.
Whack.
Yeah.
That's whack.
Anyway,
on to the next animation.
Dance of the Hours.
Yeah, I think... Is this the last one?
Second to last.
What the fuck? What was the last one?
The Night on Bald Mountain? You'll remember when we get to it, yeah.
I remember now. Okay, because I was looking at my notes, and they're so vague just because I was probably so fucking tired.
We were so tired. It was 11:30 at night.
It was like midnight. We got done at 1.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so we were so tired. Anyways, so ostriches, huh?
Ostriches.
Because this piece starts off with just fucking ostriches just dancing with tutus. But I mean, this whole thing is just animals with tutus.
Yes.
Because it makes me strangely uncomfortable. And especially to the part where it gets to the hippos. Because it's confirmed by this animation. Two things are confirmed, right? One, hippos are dummy thick.
Dummy thick?
Only because of number 2, which is confirmed, that hippos are just ass.
They are just 95%.
That literally the tutu was maybe at the hippo's bobbies, which means they were real high up there, which means that most of the hippo was just fucking waist, which is just ass. So hippos are just ass confirmed.
Can you imagine an actual ballerina wearing her tutu up where the hippo had it?
Dude, that
would look.
I had no idea what the fuck was going on this whole time, dude. This whole dancing animal segment, I had no idea.
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on?
It was supposed to describe the hours of the day.
Okay. I don't fucking I had no idea what the hell was going on. Yeah, the last note I put for this whole thing is, why is the hippo trying to cover her ass? Because
it's literally just hanging out, and she's still just like...
Yeah, because there was a scene where the elephants came in. It was elephants, right? The crocodiles.
Crocodiles.
Where the crocodiles came in, and they were like, ooh la la, with the hippos.
Mm-hmm.
And the hippo was just not fucking having it.
Yeah.
It was like, no. Not me, G. Mm-hmm. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So, in order to evade their gaze, the hippo just kind of tried to cover her ass.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fucking impossible because her whole body is just ass.
The only note, this is another one where I only have one note on this section.
There's not enough tutu to cover that ass.
That ass.
That ass.
Thick. Why is this the third movie in a row where we've had a thick character?
Dummy.
But this is another one where I only have one note about it, and that's that the hippo's name is Hyacinth. And also I love her.
What?
Hyacinth the hippo.
Hyacinth?
I even put a little heart after her name.
My love, I wish I was Hyacinth. Fuck. Don't do drugs.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
You seem pretty proud of yourself.
I am.
Alright.
I was pretty proud of that joke, if I'm being, pretty honest. I thought it was a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
But whatever. On to the next.
Yes.
The last and final one with our boy, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
The Russian incident where...
Anyway, Chernobyl.
I can count how many times I've been to Chernobyl with my hand, and that's 16.
That was a messed up joke, babe.
Funny joke.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Don't do radiation. Mm-hmm. That's what it'll do to you.
Yeah.
It'll give you more fingers.
Let's keep going.
All right.
Let's get back on track here, babe.
Off the rails podcast. This is ridiculous. Shut it down. Anyways, yeah. So it's just this next animation just kind of goes straight into it. It really just doesn't. It doesn't wait. Mm-hmm. It just goes. It just does it. It just drops you right in the middle of the fucking story. Because it starts off with just the regular city's landscape, I think, and then just the souls just start coming straight out the houses, and we figured out it was Chernobyl. But I'm just going to keep referring him as Chernobyl just because it's funny, joke, haha. So yeah, I put fucking Chernobyl over here snatching bodies because he's literally, again, oh my god, I just realized this, he's just waving his fucking fingers at the town. And magic is happening, or he's just taking the bodies. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you gotta do to know magic. Just wave your fucking fingers around, and I'm waving it at you. Fall in love with me.
Too late. Already in love with you.
God, that's gay. So yeah, Chernobyl over here just snatching bodies. Mm-hmm. And then the five ladies. The five ladies come up and start dancing on whatever, the mountain, I think, or Chernobyl's whatever. And they turn into demons. Mm-hmm. And I remember when it was just the five ladies, I said to you, still smash. And then they turned into demons, and you were like, "Are you sure?" So I put on the notes ... Still smash. This one note, I have no idea what it's in reference to, but it just says ... So I don't know what that was in reference to. It was just...
Oh, I think it was because it had such a pace change. It went from Night on Bald Mountain to Ave Maria.
Yes, actually, yeah, because I think that was towards the end of it. Because it just says, and then I put right after, so this just happens every night, or... Because, it just seems like a regular thing.
Introducing the segment that it was Halloween, that it was Walpurgis.
Oh, that it was...
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Basically Halloween, Walpurgis.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear that. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. I think I just broke the fucking chair.
Good job, babe.
Holy shit, I really just broke the fucking chair.
You're
wow.
To tell our roommates.
I'm telling our roommates. This is, holy shit, dude, I broke the fucking chair.
Oh my god, babe.
Oh my god, dude, I really broke the fucking chair. Oh my god. These cheap ass Walmart chairs, dude.
It was Big Lots, come on.
This was Big Lots?
Yeah.
Even worse. Alright, continue.
Can we get back to
go ahead.
The devil?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, the last note I have is at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go ahead and talk. I'll figure out this fucking chair, dude. I think I got it. Alright, just go ahead. Go.
So, Chernobog.
Chernobyl.
I'm kind of obsessed with him.
Dude, he's so fucking cool.
He is the most evil character ever created by Disney.
I'm scared
He
to
is
sit in my chairs now.
a literal demon in Slavic and pagan folklore.
Ooh.
A literal demon. The most evil character.
I like it.
Walt Disney even described him as, quote, Satan himself, end quote.
Oh,
Parents called the studio to complain about that segment scaring their children.
I like it.
I love
like
it. Yeah. I love Chernobog. He's just so creepy.
Yeah.
So evil.
He's just cool, man.
He's cool.
He just looks really fucking cool.
The first time I learned about Chernobog was that there's this series of books that I read when I was younger called The Kingdom Keepers.
Mm-hmm.
And Chernobog is like the big bad guy.
The big bad guy.
That's kind of why I'm so obsessed with him.
Mm.
And it's rumored that this is going to be turned into a live-action movie.
Fantasia?
The Night on Bald Mountain section, the Chernobog.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, whole Fantasia as a live action movie?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a little brazy.
A little brazy.
A little brazy. So, yeah, after this, it just kind of ends.
Yes.
Like, that's it. It just ends.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as this is done, it just, like, the whole thing just ends. There's no goodbye from the orchestra. No, like,
The orchestra's just sitting there in the dark, waiting for it to end, waiting for someone to tell them they can leave the stage.
Yeah. It's like, hey, the animation ended like 20 minutes ago, dude. Can we leave? Or just, yeah. No, yeah, after the animation ends, the movie just ends.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the movie just stopped on our PlayStation because we were watching
And we were like, oh.
Yeah, we're just like, oh, that's it?
We can go to bed now.
Yeah, dude, we just fucking... So... Alright, so that's literally whole Fantasia. Just 2 hours worth of fucking nonsense.
I'm gonna go into my final questions now, my closing questions.
Alright, I'm ready. I'm dancing, I'm fucking hyped.
Millie rocking in the dining room.
Millie rocking in the fucking dining room.
Anyway, what was your favorite part?
Man, between the dino fight and Chernobog, I think honestly just that whole that last animation.
The Night on Bald Mountain sequence.
Yeah, just that whole fucking thing.
Spooky.
That's nut, dude. It's just so good.
What score do you think audiences gave it?
Out of 10?
Out of IMDb is out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes is 100%.
Okay, so audiences out of 10, like a 6. And Rotten Tomatoes out of 100, like about 75.
So IMDb had a score of 7.8.
Fuck, should have said 7.
Which was higher than Pinocchio.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. On Rotten Tomatoes, it had 83%, which is, again, higher than Pinocchio.
Well, I was close on Rotten Tomatoes.
What score do you think critics gave it?
Fucking maybe like out of 10?
Out of 100%. It's off Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, so like a 90%.
It is 96%.
Oh, fuck.
Which is,
right.
It's the lowest rank we've seen so far from critics, out of the 3 movies we've seen.
What was the other 2? I know Pinocchio was like 100, wasn't it? Pinocchio was like the perfect fucking Disney movie ever made.
Yeah, I think it was like...
Snow White was maybe like...
99. I want to say, Pinocchio was like 100 and Snow White was like 99.
Yeah.
And then this is at 96.
Okay.
So, yeah. In the 3 movies we've watched for the podcast, where does this rank?
Fucking number 2. No one can fucking knock my Wood Boy over.
Even above Snow White, though?
Yes.
I'm disappointed.
I honestly think Snow White is the weakest link here between the 3 Disney movies we've watched.
My feelings are hurt.
I know. I'm sorry. I love you, babe.
But I am Snow White.
But Snow White's number 3. Snow White's last on the list for me because it's Wood Boy and Chernobyl and then the fucking dummy thick dwarfs.
What is your magical Disney lesson takeaway?
Listen to more classical music, man. Especially Sebastian Bach, because he can suck my cock.
Get really high and listen to classical music.
Dude, no, because I'm gonna
Don't do
trip.
drugs. Don't do drugs,
I'm gonna
kids.
trip, and then I'm gonna think of fucking Chernobog, and then I'm just
Dancing mushrooms.
I'm just gonna get scared, and I'm gonna be like, babe, I don't want my soul to get snatched by this cool ass looking demon. It's just gonna be bad news, man. Just bad news. Bears everywhere.
Any questions for me?
Besides the usual, like, what do you think? You've never seen this movie before?
No.
Before we watched it?
I've seen segments separately. Like, I've seen the Sorcerer's Apprentice segment. I've seen the Night on Bald Mountain segment.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen the pastoral scene. The one with the Centaurettes. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think about this movie, since you had never seen it before either?
Well, like you said, it's the most interesting, boring movie ever.
Yeah.
It was boring but interesting. And it was also just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, dude, that's why I just said this movie is just total fucking nonsense, because there's no real plot to it, it's just everything.
Yeah. For me, it's at number 3 on my list out of the 3 we've watched. It's below
Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Because I just know Snow White is just number 1
untouchable for
of
me.
all time. Yeah. So.
I love Snow White so much.
Yes, I know. All right, well, if that's all we got for this episode,
yes,
we'll go straight into the outro.
Are you good? Are you ever good, though?
Am I, honestly, ever good? Anyways.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Listening. But if you liked what you heard, go ahead and throw us a follow on Spotify, SoundCloud, now finally iTunes.
We're finally on iTunes.
And not yet YouTube, because I don't have time right now. But it'll be there soon enough. I promise you, YouTube, you'll get the love you deserve.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and our next one will be The Reluctant Jack. We'll see you next time, and remember,
be good people. Please, the world needs me. I love you. I was talking to the viewers. I love you.
I love you too.
And I love everyone. But be good people.
You shouldn't have sugar this late at night.
Alright guys, see you next episode.
Bye.
We'd like to say a quick thank you to the artist that did our logo, Hamil Gianzan. She does incredible art and is an incredible friend and person to be around. If you like our logo and would like to see any more of her artwork, go ahead and check her out on Twitter at Bagged Soda. That's BAGGEDSODA, all one word. Also, her Instagram is at SleepyGirlHours. That's SleepyGirlHours. Thank you again, Hamil. We appreciate you greatly. Also, thank you to Fontoman for providing the font we use for the movie titles on that logo. It is called Walter, and you could find it on dafont.com.
Make sure to follow our personal accounts at _LeoMC and at BradMajorsAsshole on Instagram. Our Twitters are at LeoMC420 and at Morgana Scott. For more podcast-related info, follow us on Twitter at DDisneyPodcast and our Facebook page at Discovering DISN3Y.
As always, thanks guys.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
If you liked what you heard, go ahead and throw us a follow on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Our next episode will be Fantasia. See you next time, and remember,
be good people. Bye, bitch.